you remember me? Do you even know my mother's name?
What's going on, everybody? My name's Alvin, and this is a spoiler-filled review of Monkey Man. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out, come back, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, what your score is out of 10. I'll give my score at the end of this video. Okay, so let's get started here. This is a directorial debut of Dev Patel. We've probably seen him in movies like The Green Knight, Hotel Mumbai, The Lion, and obviously the big one that he was in Slumdog Millionaire. So this is his first time being in the director's chair, and he's also being partnered up. He partnered up with the producer Jordan Peele, who has been killing it in Hollywood. So I had to taper my expectations going in. I didn't want to have too much expectations. I wanted to see if this movie was, good based on the trailer. The trailer really hyped this movie up, but the trailer also gave very little of what this movie was about, which I absolutely love, because so many times we see a trailer and they give us everything. You're like, why do you bother watching this movie? You've already told me who the main character is, who the bad guy is, and what's it all about. So why do I want to watch this movie? This one gives you very little, and so when you walk in, you're like, okay, the trailer had this, but then you're like, oh, okay, this is what's going on here. And the story is so emotionally gripping because it's about a son who is just hell-bent on getting revenge on his mother, getting murdered, and the way she got murdered, and what happened to the way they were living their life, peaceful and with nature, and just they were poor obviously, but they were just living a simple fun life, and it was all got destroyed by greed, by wealthy business people who didn't care, corruption, corrupted politicians. This is stuff that does happen in India, and it happens quite often where land is poor people are being kicked out of land and told get out, or they burn everything down and they're forced out of their homes. It happens a lot of times in India, and so I really appreciate this movie being honest and true of corruption and things like that happen all the time, not just in India but other places as well. But this is focused on how Indian culture and things happen there. The camera work in this thing is insane. Like, you get some visual shots that you would just only dream of. You see maybe an animation, the fighting choreography, the violence. It is the John Wick of India. So if you love John Wick, you love the violence and the fights, you're gonna absolutely love this movie, and you're gonna probably have a tear in your eye going, wow, that was great. It is over the top violent. I mean, people are getting stabbed, thrown into, head smashing through a toilet. I mean, you just name it. It's all over. This places that you see in there are just great lighting, great camera work, and just sheer violence. And I don't know how many sets they probably destroyed making this movie, but thank you so much, Dev Patel, for making that kind of movie. It is sheer brilliance in terms of action based. The script is pretty good. I would say pretty decent script. There are moments where the script kind of lingers a little bit, and you're just like, we could have shortened it here, could have shortened it there. Like, the movie, if you take about maybe 10 minutes out of it, I think it would just still been fine. The beginning does take a little bit long to get going. There are some moments, and then the movie, halfway point through the movie, is, I think that's when it starts developing more deeper. You get some flashbacks, some clues to what's really happening, and then the movie really opens up halfway through and just kind of gives you everything and says, okay, here we go, this is what we're gonna do. There are some comedic moments which I found interesting and funny at times. It's not all over the place. It's like John Wick. It's a fine taste. Like, you get little bits of comedic moments here, like, fine little moments where it's not too heavy and doesn't take away from the seriousness of the movie. So I appreciate that as well. And then there are moments where it just grips your heart and you're just like, oh God, please don't cry, please don't cry, please don't cry. And it's just like, man, it makes you feel. There's this scene where he's a kid and he's looking down through the cracks of the roof where his mom has hidden him before she gets murdered, and you can just see innocent boy's eyes just looking through, and that is just so powerful, and the way they filmed it was just so, man, it just takes you from the highs of the action that you just saw prior to that to this, like, oh, gut-wrenching feel. So the emotions of all kind is there in this movie, and it just takes you for a ride. It gives you everything you've paid for to watch movies. This is why we go to the movies. This is why we watch movies, to give you those emotions. Makes you think about, a lot of people are going to watch this movie in North America, and it'll give you a sense of Indian culture and how things could, can go, from good to bad real quick there. There isn't, like, legislation and, town hall meetings sometimes when land assemblies are changed or zoning rights are changed. Things happen at a lightning pace over there, and a lot of people could be out, without a home in like seconds, right? So it's just such a great movie. I want to give hats off to Dev Patel. I think he did a great job. This movie is a solid movie to watch. Be ready because it's great. All the actors in there, like all the people that are involved in this movie, I think there's so many supporting actors and actresses that did a great job. Even the villain of the movies, of this movie, the villains of this movie, I think they did a great job of really wanting to hate them. I felt like I wanted to, strangle them myself. I'm like, I hate these people. Then I'm like, I love these people because they're great actors. They're doing a great job of you being emotionally invested in this movie. And so I definitely think this is one of the better movies this year I've seen. Is it the best movie I've seen? There's still lots to go this year, but it's a contender for me, I think, in the top 5 this year for sure. I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I think it is a phenomenal movie, one that should not be overlooked. Definitely check it out. It is good times. It's not for kids. Very violent. Do not take your kids there. It is extremely violent movie, but it is violent, but it's beautiful at the same time. And so I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. So take that to the bank. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye bye.